Just now recording. Hello, welcome. Sorry about last week. I think I was just completely exhausted and my whole body shut down. It's one of those, like, yeah, toddler sleep. Not my toddlers either. Mm-hmm. Toddler lack of sleep and Morris having a bit of sleep anxiety as well. But here we are. Well, funny old place. Emma, how's Edinburgh?
It's very good, thank you. Yes, it's lovely and sunny, and we went walking in the hills on Sunday, and we only took 15 minutes to get there.
That's the beautiful thing about Edinburgh.
Yeah. Well, it's a good city.
Yeah, no, we're liking it so far. It's been a month, almost exactly a month. So,
where are you living?
We're in Murrayfield.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really close to the stadium, so we can hear the national anthems when the Six Nations is on. That's
excellent. Good. We had our graduation ball at Murrayfield.
Did you?
And for some reason the fire alarm went off, and so most of our graduation ball was spent outside. Outside of but yeah, very jealous. Welcome. Let's start. We're going to start lying down, actually, which is something I rarely do, but I just thought it's quite nice to have that grounding sense of releasing the body first and then doing a little bit of work building up, and maybe we'll finish standing, who knows. So lying on your back, make sure if you can that you've got some pillows today, because we're going to do a bit more side. We did some side lying work with a little rotation, so it's nice to have a bit of support for your head, so that you really feel that your neck is never in this slightly odd position. We want to always feel like you're balanced at the end of your spine with your neck. So lying with your head on a pillow if you feel comfortable, or if you prefer not to, then fine. But I want you to have your feet flat on the floor, arms down by your side, or hands resting on your belly. And just take a few breaths to settle here. So lovely deep breath, and as you breathe in, really feel the back of your body connecting down into the mat wherever the breath takes it. So notice that connection as you breathe in. Where do you feel that sense of expansion, of heaviness? And then breathe out, just softly sigh the breath through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, seeing if you can just find the back of your body lengthening on the mat. And breathing out through the mouth. And on the next few breaths, with noticing the back of your body, I want you to really consider where the spine expands with the breath. So can you feel the whole of the spine? Sharon, we're starting lying down on your back. Feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Can you feel the whole of your spine affected by the breath, or just around the ribcage area? Just notice for you what happens with your body, with your breath. And breathing out nice and long exhalation. So maybe try and lengthen the exhalation a little bit more each time. We're going to do 3 more breaths in this position. So breathing in, feel the expansion. Notice the bottom rib. Can you feel that heavy into the floor? What's happening around your belly? Can you feel it rising with the in-breath? And then soften on your out-breath. Let the shoulders melt. Let the collarbones widen. Feel the base of your spine lengthening, the pelvis nice and heavy. Let's do 2 more breaths. And it's quite nice to kind of see just how long you can elongate that out-breath. We don't want to over-breathe, don't feel kind of funny, but I want you to really try and lengthen, so feel the full release of the out-breath. Channeling that full inhalation, last one like this, in and out. And now if your hands aren't already there, take them down by your side, lengthening through the fingertips. And I want you to imagine that the air has substance. You're going to breathe in to float the arms up towards the ceiling, and then breathe out as you send the arms all the way back behind you. And this time just notice if anything happens to your ribs and spine. Don't change it if it does, but just notice. Is there any movement, any change in heaviness to the back of your body? Now you're going to breathe in. I want you, if you have room, to circle the arms out by your side. If you don't have room, just press them forward and down. So whichever works for the space that you're in. And then breathe towards the ceiling once more. Breathing out, lengthen the arms back behind you. Now this time again, notice, but try and soften the rib cage down. So notice if your ribs fell up towards the ceiling and followed the arms. And if you can, see if you can just tuck your rib cage down in towards your trousers again. And then breathing in, circle the arms all the way down back, or press them forward. Just breathing in at the bottom to settle. So breathing out at the bottom, settle, and then breathe in, let's float up and out. We're going to do 3 more. So just sort of get into a rhythm of how it feels around your shoulder blades. Only go as far into this circle as your shoulders feel comfortable. So that might even just be stirring the air around your shoulder joints. I don't want you to feel like you're forcing it if it feels like it's too much of a strain on the shoulders. Just pausing for that out breath at the bottom. Last one in. And breathe out, reach. Breathing in to circle. And pause at the bottom with your in-breath, your out-breath. Now take a lovely deep breath in. Feel like you're now being a bit aware of the back of the body and the shoulders. I want you now to just massage the spine with our spine curls. Now if you do have pillows like I do, just take one of them away, or take it away, to make sure that we don't have any pressure on the neck as we move through the spine. So you're going to take a lovely deep breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to press evenly into your feet. Imagine you're connecting with all 10 toes, and then tuck your tailbone underneath you. Begin to wheel your spine up off the mat, bone by bone. So we're just pressing the pubic bone up towards the ceiling, but without arching the back. So notice how the rib cage feels. Tuck the bottom rib into your trousers a little bit, breathing in here. Breathing out, roll the spine down. If you prefer, you can breathe out to come up and breathe in to roll down. If you prefer to do it slightly more swiftly, so going at your own pace, we're either going to roll up on the out breath, breathe in at the top, breathe out, roll down, or just do it all out breath followed by the in breath. So whatever works for your spine. Either way, we're going to do about 6 of these. So I want you just to really roll through each bone of your spine, noticing how it feels today, pressing into the bum, maybe activating those buttock muscles a little bit a little bit more each time. And rolling up, rolling down. You've got 2 more. And rolling down, last one. And then we're going to just pause at the top of this last one. And I want you to take a breath in, float the arms up towards the ceiling. So the same movement you've just been doing. Now this time, really be aware of the connection of the bottom rib to the top of your pelvis. So the muscles in between that space. Draw in through the belly a little bit. Feel your oblique muscles kind of wrapping in a corset around the sort of waist area. As you breathe out, you're going to reach the arms back behind you, keeping the bum lifted, but keeping the rib cage soft. And you're going to circle the arms as you roll the spine down. So try and coordinate that movement. Now, if you didn't have space for the circle before, just pressing the arms down forward. So don't worry, it's exactly the same kind of coordination. Breathing in at the bottom. As you breathe out, wheeling the spine up. Activate through the glutes, but also through the front of your body. So you want to be nice and strong. Breathing in, float the arms up. Breathing out, reach the arms back behind you, keeping the bum lifted, rib cage soft. As you circle the arms, roll the spine back down. So we're lowering with control. Then let your tailbone tilt back into neutral at the bottom, curling the tailbone underneath you to come back up. Nice and strong bum. You're going to float the arms up. All 10 toes down. Notice whether your toes have started to float up towards the ceiling. The arms come back. The rib cage stays soft. And then circle the spine circle the arms as you roll the spine down. And we've got one more like that. So just softening the arms down at the bottom. Start to peel your spine back up. Nice and strong through the feet. The buttocks are lifted. Float the arms up. Reach them back. And then circle the arms as you roll the spine down. And release. Just do a couple of pelvic tilts at the bottom. So try and lengthen your tailbone all the way away towards the heels and then tuck it underneath you. So we're flattening and lengthening the lumbar skirt, the lumbar curve, just for a moment, even out. And then maybe do a couple of pelvic clocks. So if you're not familiar with pelvic clocks, imagine a clock face on your abdomen. Your navel is 12, your pubic bone 6. The 2 hip bones 3 and 9, just gently rolling a marble around those bases on the clock face. And then when you've done it a few times in one direction, let's go the other way. The knees stay relatively still. We want to think about the pelvis moving around the thigh bones rather than the thigh bones rolling around from side to side. Just do 1 or 2 more. And coming back, resting in the center. Now from here, you're going to float both arms to the ceiling once more. Now you may want a pillow behind your head, or you may not. Check in with your comfort levels. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to float your left knee in towards you. So nice and strong through that right foot into the floor, stay grounded. Imagine the points, 4 points of your torso, your shoulders and your hips are even all the way through this exercise. You're going to float the right arm back behind you and straighten the left leg. And then bring it back. And just bring your fingertips towards your knees, so opposite, so right hand to left knee. And then the same thing again, arm lengthens, leg releases away. And then touch fingertips to knee. Let's do that 3 more times, same leg, same arm. And I want you to think about your ribs and your hip. Try to keep that connection so you're not arching your back. Keep the tummy strong. You've got 2 more. Last one. And back. And then just take both hands around that knee and lengthen that right leg away. So coming into a bit of a hip flexor stretch, relax the shoulders. Breathe. And then you're going to bring both arms back to the ceiling. The left foot comes down. Float the right knee in. Check in with the rectangle of your torso, so the shoulders and both sides of your hips. Just notice if it feels different with this knee up. You might feel that you prefer one side, feel more balanced on one side. Let's take a breath in. As you breathe out, really draw in through your center. So find that activation, little pelvic floor, lower belly. Feel that you're really nice and stable through the body. You're going to lengthen the right leg away, lengthen the left arm back. Again, one side might feel a little bit stronger and smoother, and fingertips towards the knee. And then send it away. Long, long leg, long fingers. And bring them back towards each other. You've got 3 more. Or do we do 6 on the side, in which case, ooh. Hands to knee, 3 more. Hands to knee, sending the leg away as low as you feel comfortable that you can control the pelvis. So we don't want the pelvis to tip. I want you to feel like you're really stable through the torso. No shifting at all. Last one, bringing the knee in towards you, lengthen your left leg away. Let's come into a little hip flexor stretch. Breathe. And then bringing your left foot down, followed by your right. And then float the arms back up towards you. Let's just do a little arm circle again. So we're going to float the arms back, rib cage closure, just like you did, softening the ribs down, the arms come back behind you, and then reaching the fingertips out by your side to circle. Let's just do 1 more like that. Lovely circling, releasing and stretching the front of the chest. And then leave the arms back up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms to face each other this time. Breathing in. Now, as you breathe out, use your lower belly. So I want you to really deepen that engagement, lifting into your pelvic floor, scoop the tummy a little bit. So imagine really drawing your energy up from the pubic bone into the lower center. If that tilts your pelvis, consciously lengthen your tailbone away, but maintain that engagement if you can. So notice that whether your bones just move without you asking them to, and if so, try and be conscious about any movement through the spine. Now from here, we're going to float the right leg in towards you. Deepen that abdominal connection as you float the left leg into. Now, if you need to, tilt your pelvis to imprint your lower spine. If not, consciously lengthen the spine away into your natural curve of your lower back, but draw the lower belly in. So really feel stable and in control of the movement of your pelvis, because you don't want your pelvis to be rocking and rolling here. You want it to be nice and still. Let's take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to tap your left toe down to the floor as you open your right arm out and bring everything back through center. Other side, right knee, right foot comes down, left arm comes out and back. We've got 3 more either side. Tap really strong tummy. So imagine you're controlling this through the lower belly. So you're feeling that strength from the ribs to the hips. It's that same area that we've just been kind of thinking about with your spine curls. Tap. Right toe, left arm, got 1 more either side. Left toe, right arm. Make sure that that pelvis isn't moving, the rib cage is soft, shoulders are relaxed, last one either side. And then bring the knees into your chest. Open in, maybe roll from side to side. Now from here, let's come into a single leg stretch. So you've got 2 levels. You can either keep your head down and we just do the leg movement. So we're taking the arms around the left leg. Right hand around the top of the knee. So exact same movement as we did earlier on, bringing the fingertips across the knee. This time the left hand comes down the side of the left calf shin area. So almost like you're trying to touch your ankle. Your arms are like your ballroom dancing, quite nice and wide at the shoulder, the elbows, so you're nice and open across the chest. So either keeping your head down if you know that your lower back or your abdominal muscles don't want to do lots of strong heavy duty work today. Otherwise, on your next out breath, you're curling up. So looking down towards your belly without tucking your pelvis in towards you. See if you can maintain that lovely neutral pelvis. You're going to, on an out breath, send your right leg away. We're going to bring it in, change, and send the left leg. Bring it in, change. Now remember to keep the head down if you feel this is going into your neck or your lower back in an uncomfortable way. Otherwise, keep your eye focused down towards your belly rather than looking up towards the ceiling or towards your toes. Change. Keep breathing. Change. Keep the belly deepening in towards your spine. You've got 2 more either side. Reaching that right leg away, reaching the left leg away, bring the knees in, release the head down if it's not already down, just roll from side to side with the head. And maybe roll forward and back with your nose as well. Now from here again, we can either keep the head down, we're going to come into quite an active hamstring stretch. So I want you to lengthen both legs away. Now, you can keep them slightly bent, so choose the level that works for you, either almost completely bent if you want to, or just slightly bent at the knee, or if you know that you have that kind of length in your hamstrings, it's not going to be a strain, we're lengthening them up towards the ceiling. Maybe just experiment with a little point and flex, just to get a little nice stretch here. Now, you can keep the head down. Still need a lot of work for the lower belly, supporting the legs, so it's not completely switching off, but it's just a little less load on your neck. So if you do need to release the head down, do. So we're taking a breath in. I want you to take your hands behind the back of your right leg, right thigh. So if your knees are bent, exactly the same place, just underneath the knee joint. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to curl up. Now, if you want to, you can walk the hands a little bit further up here, so towards the ankle as far as you feel comfortable. You're going to bring that right leg towards you, send the left leg away. Use your tummy here. Bring it back through center, swap the hand to the other side. Bring it in and change. Breathe in and change. So breathing in through the nose and then dynamically expel the air through the mouth. We're sending the leg only as far as you're bringing it in, so it's not dangling towards this floor. You're consciously, evenly scissoring the leg. We've got 1 more either side. And then bring the knees in, release the head down. Roll from side to side. Really relax the shoulders if you can. So try and let go of any tension. You're going to bring the feet back down to the floor, and I want you to let your arms lengthen down along the mat, palms facing up. Just pause there for a moment and let your breath settle. Notice where you're feeling this in the abdominals, maybe the hamstrings, maybe the hips, the neck. Just gently sort of meander through the sensations that you're experiencing. Allow the neck to be really soft, because we did quite a lot of flexion just then, so you might feel that your neck needs to consciously release. And then walking your feet to mat width if they're a little bit narrower. And I want you to just windscreen wipe the legs. So let the knees roll from side to side. The arms stay heavy. Just letting the thighs move in their sockets. It's a nice little lower back massage as well. One more either side. And then from here, bringing the arms back down by your side. Now again, you might want to, it's coming into a glute stretch, so you might want a little bit more padding underneath the head, particularly if when you come into a glute stretch, you ever poke the chin up and can't keep the back of the head lengthened on the floor. So sometimes just a little bit of cushioning under the head helps you. So I want you to float your right knee in towards you. Take the right foot across the left knee. Check with your pelvis that it's even and square on the floor, so you haven't kind of shifted or wiggled. You want to still feel those 4 points of the torso rectangle are even on the mat. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, now if you do have a band, that can help you here, just sort of pulling the supporting leg up from the mat, if that helps you with any issues around the lower back, etc. Otherwise, floating in, taking the hands behind the thigh, that left thigh. Sometimes if you flex into the ankles, it gets sort of deeper, bespoke stretch for you. Otherwise, just relax, just notice where you're feeling this stretch. If you're not really getting it in the bum, you should be feeling it in the right side of your buttock, or the right buttock. Maybe just slightly drop your weight into the left hip, or push the right knee out ever so slightly. So sometimes just very small tweaks of the skeleton will help the muscles get that sort of greater alignment for stretching. Breathing in. If it feels like a gruesome stretch, maybe breathe, soften if you feel yourself tensing. Sometimes if it's not brutal, it might be a bit more brutal on the other side, which is what I'm about to experience. So bring that left foot down, but keep the right leg where it is. Let's bring the arms back out, and then we're just going to roll that right foot down towards the mat. It's a little bit of an opening for the right hip. I want you just to move the thigh bone in its socket if you can. If it's not uncomfortable or aggravating knee or hip, just gently kind of waggle that thigh, for want of a better word. Almost like you're turning a key in a lock, a bit like your oyster movement. And then come back with the knee much more upright. Use your tummy here to bring the leg back through center with control. Float the leg down. Let's just come into a couple of windscreen wipers to even off before you move to the other side. Breathing deeply. And then come back through center. Let's float that right knee in. Sorry, left knee. Left and right mixed up. Left knee over the right knee. Checking in with the torso rectangle. Is it a parallelogram now, or have you maintained that nice stable rectangle? Take a breath in, drawing a little bit more strength through the center as you float that right knee in towards you. Oh, it's much tighter for me on this side. So notice whether you feel that one side is a bit tighter than the other. Often we do with our bums. One side is a tight arse. Let's float or flex into the ankle joints. See if that changes the quality or the strength of the stretch, and then just relax it off. Maybe pushing that left knee out, or drawing your weight slightly into the right hip, whatever works for you to get that real deeper stretch around the glute muscle. It's a very big muscle, your glute max. It's, I believe, the biggest muscle in the body, so you do have a lot of area to stretch. Breathing in, a lot of muscle fibers that can get hidden. And then when you're ready, with control, release that right foot down, but keep the left foot where it is. Let the arms release out to the side. And then just gently rolling across. So either bringing that left foot completely down on the floor, or you can sort of rest it if that was better. And again, just working into the hip joint a little bit. So ever so slightly opening and closing that knee. If it feels comfortable, if it aggravates anything in the hip or the knee joint, don't do it. Otherwise, it's just a really nice way of lubricating the joint in a slightly unusual way. Drawing in through your center before you then come back through, and then release that foot all the way down. And then from here, let's just roll over onto our side. It doesn't matter which side, as long as you can see the screen. And I want you to make sure that you've got this pillow underneath your head. And you want to bring your feet, your knees out in front of you. So rather than being in an oyster position with the foot in line with the bum, you've got them slightly more in a chair position. Palm on top of palm. Let's take a nice deep breath in as you float the arm forward. So we're massaging the rib cage here, just letting the shoulder blade roll on and glide on the ribs. And then you're going to breathe out as you float the arm up towards the ceiling and let the rib cage roll. Imagine you're sending the knees in the opposite direction. So we did this before, didn't we? Just think about the knees going forward as the fingertips open back. And also consider the rib cage and the arm as part of each other. So we're not just dangling the arm back. I want you to really feel that you're moving from your heart center. Breathe in. If you want a little bit more of a stretch here, I want you to extend your top leg and bring the foot all the way down. So let's try and reach the fingertips away from the toes in opposition. And then from here, you're going to bring the arm up above the head, like drawing a little circle around your body as you bring the leg back and bring the palms back towards each other. Breathing in, let's float the arm forward, breathe out, lift it up. Keep those knees glued together. If you've got a pillow or something, it's quite good, or a ball even. Place it in between the knees. It helps give you that little sense of stability of the hip. Reaching forward, back rather, let's lengthen the leg forward, maybe pressing, if you can, the little toe in towards the mat. And then when you're ready, let's bring the arm up above you as you bring that leg back through center. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, fold, roll it forward and lift up as you breathe out. Let's lengthen the leg away in opposition. If you like to, and you're quite nice and yogi, like to be yogi about it, you can reach and grab hold of that foot, which gives you much more of a hamstring stretch. You don't have to if it doesn't feel comfy. Breathe. And then when you're ready, bringing that arm up above the head and back through center. Let's leave the arms here. You can maybe tuck them underneath you if that feels comfortable, or you could always lengthen that top arm. What we're going to do is come into your glute muscle here. So the arms, if they feel comfortable out in front of you, stay there. Bringing the feet in line with your bum. You're going to open that top knee up towards the ceiling, not letting the pelvis roll back. So we're thinking about keeping the hips stacked and just moving that thigh bone in its socket. And let's do two more. Squeeze. And last one, squeeze. And release it down. Lengthen the legs away. Again, as long as you're happy just in this sort of slightly relaxed position of the top, stay there. But if you do want to lengthen your arm under, do. You're going to lift that top leg, rather, not bottom leg. And I want you to keep your tummy really active here as you glide your leg forward. Imagine you're sliding it along a coffee table. And then from here, you're going to lift and lower. So it's slightly in front of you at a 45-degree angle. Lift and lower. Two more. Lift, lower, last one. And then you're sliding it all the way back and then lowering it down. Well done. Let's go over to the other side. So either just roll over if you feel that you don't need to see the screen, or just wiggle yourself around. We're going to take the pillows, make sure they are back underneath your head, arms out in front of you. I've got a message on my screen. make sure that you've got that nice alignment. So you've got the rib cage, head, pelvis all in line, and your knees in a chair position, so the feet are in line with the knees. Breathing in, let's roll the arm forward and then lift it up towards the ceiling, following the gaze with your eye, and reach it back from the breastbone. So we're not trying to let the arm dangle back behind the ribs. Stay here if you want to, or you can already lengthen and extend that top leg, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to circle the arm as you bring the leg back and lengthen the hands back towards each other. Breathing in, let's float forward and up, and then breathing out to bring the arm and rotate through the torso, but not the hip. So think about the top hip in opposition, twisting almost like a sweetie. Breathing in here, and then breathing out. Sorry, I didn't extend my leg, did I? Breathing out, bring the arm back through center, palm on top of palm. Breathe in to float it forward, and lifting up on the out breath, twist. Extend that top leg and grab hold of it if you like, that slightly extended yogi position here. Breathing in, breathing out to reach the arm up above you, and come back through center. Last one, we're going to breathe in, lifting up, keeping the pelvis stacked if you can, so hip on top of hip, reaching the arm back, reaching the leg forward. And breathing in, breathing out, let's circle. And come all the way back through center. So your arms, your rib cage rather, should feel lovely and massaged after that. Depending on how you felt on the other side, arms stay like this, maybe tuck under the cheek, or release the arm underneath your hip. Underneath your hip, sorry, pillow, my brain. I want you to bring your feet in line with your bum. So you might need to just sort of check in your rear view mirror whether you've got sort of alignment with the back of the mat here. And we're going to make sure the pelvis stays upright. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze that top knee up towards the ceiling. So really feel the buttock muscle here as you turn the thigh bone like a key in a lock. It's quite a deep but very small movement. So if you don't feel it in your buttock, maybe roll that top hip forward. So it's an even smaller movement, but it's much more intense as the muscle has to work a bit harder. Let's do one more. And release it down. And you're going to extend the legs just in line with the body, or maybe a bit in front, depending on how your balance feels. You're going to lift that top leg just in line with the hip, nice and long, breathing in. As you breathe out, slide it forward. So keeping the tummy and the torso nice and strong here, you're going to lift it up and lower. Lift it up and lower. 3 more. Up and lower. Last 2. Last 1. And then slide that leg back in line with the body, and then release all the way down. Lovely. Then from here, just bring yourself up to sitting for a moment, and I want you to come into your child pose. So coming down, open the knees. If you really don't like child pose, or your knees don't like it, your hips don't like it, just lie on your back and come into a relaxation position there. Otherwise, palms down, forehead down. Let your spine just be lovely and massaged by your breath. And think about the tailbone lengthening towards your heels. See if you can inflate the back of your body with your breath. So imagine sending your breath through the waist into the kidneys. Really feel that sense of massaging every part of your spine. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll back up to sitting. Very gently, so bring your head up slowly so you don't get a head rush. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Take a lovely deep breath here, so maybe adjust your bum flesh so you're sitting nice and tall on the sit bones. Let's just roll the shoulders, glide them back, excuse me, roll them up, glide them back. And then when you're ready, you can either feed your hands underneath the hips and thighs to bring the hands around the ankles, which gives you quite a nice opening of the hip, or just let them drape around the top as you roll your spine forward. So we're not forcing it. If here is enough for you, stay here with the elbows on the knees and just softly rest your chin towards your chest. But if you can and it feels nice, let's lengthen all the way forward. Breathing into that space around the hips, the back, the bum. And then gently rebuilding your spine. Head comes up last. Let's float the right arm up towards the ceiling and then reach up and over so the other hand gives you a little bit of guidance. You can kind of rest it down, but keep this right side, this left side, I'm trying to mirror you, nice and active so we're not just dropping to the floor. Then reach up, release it down. Let's go the other way. Lift, lift, lift. All the way up and over, planting both sit bones evenly though, so we're not lifting the bum. Breathe in, breathing out. Let's do one more either side, floating the arm up and reach. Breathe in, breathe out, lift and reach. Breathe in and breathing all the way out. Let's lengthen your legs out in front of you, flexing into the heels if you can. You can bend them if you need to. Float the arms all the way up, relax those shoulders. So we've done a lot of movement with the arms on the rib cage. So I want you to feel with the arms up here whether you can still soften the rib cage down, or whether you feel it flaring forward. So just draw in through the lower belly a little bit. See if you can soften the ribs down. Breathing in. Breathing out, let's fold forward. Lengthening forward, grabbing hold wherever feels comfortable. So whether that's the knee, the calf, the ankle, the foot. Breathe in, try and kind of feel that sense of lift to drape forward. So really trying to lengthen the back of the body. Breathe. Lovely deep breaths here. So gently rising and falling of the back of your body with your breath. And then when you're ready, walking your hands back up your spine to lengthen the crown of the head to the ceiling. Now let's come back onto the floor, taking the hands behind your thighs if you want to roll yourself down, or you can use your hands, whichever works better for you. But I want you to drape yourself down onto the mat, coming into your preferred position. So whether that's feet lengthened up on the wall or the sofa, feet together, knees apart, resting over a bolster, whatever feels comfortable. Take a moment to settle into your chosen position and relax the spine. Lengthening into your breath, and I'm just going to leave you here in this breathing position, so stay here for as long as you feel comfortable. Gently measuring the rise and fall of your breath, the heaviness of the back of your body, the softness of the features of your face. Relaxing your forehead, the cheeks, the jaw, and lengthening that exhalation. So trying really to encourage your restorative nervous system. Stay there for as long as you feel comfortable, and I will see you next week, everyone. Much love.